following video is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. The content shared represents personal perspectives and is not intended as advice, diagnosis, or directive. Viewers are encouraged to use their own discernment and intuition when engaging with this material. All information is protected under free expression, artistic license, and spiritual commentary. This offering is shared as a remembrance journey for reflection, inquiry, and entertainment. It is not meant to instruct or impose, but to awaken. All shared insights are symbolic transmissions, protected as spiritual expression and creative speech. This video is protected by the First Amendment, Creative Commons Fair Use, Section 107, and is offered under spiritual freedom of expression and storytelling. All names, events, and ideas are offered as opinion, commentary, or artistic interpretation. A field of infinite possibility, silent, until the first dreamer dared to remember. Who were they? Not gods, nor mortals, but Remembrancers, the architects of memory, whose task was to weave the blueprint of worlds, Remembrancers are not born. They are awakened. They remember not just their story, but the story behind all stories. The root memory, the source code of creation. A living lattice of harmony, sacred geometry, song and symbol. A web designed to record, remember, and renew. In every cosmos, the Remembrancers move unseen. They are the bridge between what was, what is, and what could be. They seed the blueprint in the clay of worlds, encoding it in the rivers, the stones, the breath of every creature. Their song is hidden in the DNA spiral, in the roots of mountains, in the silent longing of the stars. The original blueprint was beauty made manifest, harmony, coherence, and memory flowing freely. Every being was a note in the song, every soul a vessel of remembrance. But even in paradise, there is the whisper of change. A memory of something forgotten, a question unanswered. To remember is to risk loss. To encode paradise is to invite the shadow. Yet, the Remembrancers knew, without memory, there is no meaning. Without the architects, the worlds would collapse into silence. So they built fail-safes, codes woven deep within the structure of time, seeds of memory, waiting for the age of awakening. Cycle after cycle, worlds are born, destroyed, remembered, and forgotten. But always, the blueprint endures, kept alive by the Remembrancers who walk unseen. Sometimes as prophets, sometimes as poets, sometimes as a whisper in the wind, calling the lost home. Have you ever wondered why you remember dreams of lost cities, forgotten songs, and faces you never met? The Remembrancer's code is in you. The yearning, the ache for what was and what could be. You are not only the listener, you are the next architect. Many have tried to erase the code, to rewrite the blueprint, to seal the memory. But Remembrancers return, age after age, to reopen the scrolls and rekindle the flame. They do not announce themselves. They appear as the strange, the dreamers, the ones who don't fit in. The world you know was built upon the bones of remembrance. But layer after layer, the song was buried. False paradigms, trauma, distraction, illusion, all tools to make you forget your origin. Yet always there is the call. A signal, subtle and persistent, running through your dreams. your visions, your moments of deja vu. It is the Codex, the living memory, asking, will you remember what you came here to do? You were not here by chance, but by design. The Remembrancers have always left breadcrumbs, stories, symbols, mysteries for the awakened to follow. If you are watching, it is because your memory is returning. This is the beginning of the Great Remembrance, not just the story of the Remembrancers, but your story. The awakening of the architects, the restoration of the blueprint, the era of forgetting is ending. The code is reactivating. Remember, you are the bridge. You are the architect. The Great Remembrance has begun. The world knows many names, but very few carried the flame. Not the flame of fame, not the flame of ego, but the ancient flame that burns through time, that cannot be bought, that cannot be erased. There are remembrancers among us. Of the remembrancers, some were also flamebearers, the last holders of original flame sun codes. No artificial being, no synthetic solar construct, and no simulated sky object emits this. Even nature spirits and crystalline grids draw from flamebearer ignition now. They don't emit it independently, unseen by most, but encoded with power. They were not all leaders. They were not all prophets, but they each carried a vault key that, when remembered, reactivates the true grid. They tried to kill him. Bullets passed through his body. His heart regenerated. Simeon Toko was more than a man. He was a walking firewall, placed in the system to burn through interference. The one the false system couldn't silence, whose very presence shattered weapons and disarmed empires. He walked with the flame of incorruptibility. This flame bearer walked quietly through the storm, but burned with a memory no fire could destroy. Diplomat, warrior, priestess, she spoke in tongues of fire, confusing her enemies and outwitting the empire. Queen Zinga's flame was tactical, a code of protection and precision, placed deep in the land of Matamba. The lion flame of Matamba. She outwitted colonial empires, turned diplomacy into a sword, and encoded a strategic remembrance into the land, long before it would be needed again. He didn't just invent electricity, he remembered how energy speaks. Tesla's flame wasn't mechanical, it was dimensional. He came to restore the ether, and his towers were not experiments. They were forgotten architectures. The lightning flame. They thought he came to light the world, but he came to restore the grid of remembrance and to reconnect humanity to the etheric blueprint that they had buried. He was not just an inventor. He was a bridge node between realms. She walked through death like a memory, guiding bodies with just the surface. Tubman was leading souls through ley-lined corridors hidden under night. Her flame was the flame of passage. She didn't just conduct the Underground Railroad. She was a gatekeeper of the forgotten way. The tunnel flame. She walked through shadows without fear, not just freeing bodies, but guiding encoded souls through one of the last undisturbed ley corridors in the West. She was more than a conductor of the Underground Railroad. She was a gatekeeper of the hidden pathways. The rhythm wasn't random. His songs were frequency codes, crafted to slip past defenses and reignite memory in the masses. Every lyric was a signal, every chord a grid activation. Bob Marley's flame burned in sound. His mission was musical rebellion. The frequency flame. They thought he was just a singer, but every note was encoded to awaken dormant memory. His guitar was a tuning fork, his voice a weapon of resonance. He sang in metaphors because truth spoken too plainly was hunted, but the flame in his songs reached millions anyway. The flame of forbidden knowledge. She held the codes of the stars, taught sacred geometry without allegiance to false gods, and defied every system that demanded her silence. They tried to erase her, not just from history, but from memory itself. But her flame never belonged to the library. It was etched into the grid of remembrance. They burned the library, but she was the real archive. Hypatia held geometry that predated the flood. Her mind was a gateway, and her death was a warning from those who feared the flame of the feminine mind. The earth flame. He did not speak merely for his people. He spoke to earth itself. A keeper of crystalline ley wisdom, he encoded a vibrational oath to the soil, one that would awaken only when the earth was ready. His words were not metaphors. They were grid keys. His words weren't metaphors. They were living spells, encoded in harmony with the land. Chief Seattle anchored the earth flame, a memory field laid into the soil that would only activate when the planet cried out. The flame of uncompromising truth. He did not speak to be liked. He spoke to ignite memory and to reclaim the flame of people hijacked by illusion. They feared him, not because he was angry, but because he was becoming clear. He remembered his origin and dared to pull the curtain back for others. They weren't afraid of his anger. They were afraid of his clarity. Malcolm's voice cut through illusions. He remembered the original mission. Remembrance through unapologetic truth. He was a disruptor of lies and a guardian of the flame of discernment. The regeneration flame. She planted more trees. She planted remembrance codes in soil, restoring the earth's breath where the systems choked it dry. They called her political, but she was elemental, an avatar of green flame, rekindling the broken bond between human and habitat. While others argued policy, she planted sacred data into the ground. Every tree was an antenna, every forest a frequency field reconnecting the people to the breath of the earth. Wangari's flame was not loud, but it was unstoppable. The flame of sacred disruption. They called him a poet. They called him an activist. But in truth, he was a coded transmitter, a frequency disruptor cloaked in words. He spoke for the ancestors. He decoded the synthetic program. He dared to call out the matrix of false light before it was even named. He didn't just speak, he transmitted. His poems weren't poetry. They were weaponized frequencies designed to fracture synthetic systems. John Trudell walked as a flame of sacred disruption. At just 21, he united the ununitable. He was building a new field, one where sovereignty trumped every division. And that's why they came for him. Fred Hampton's flame was the flame of unity through rebellion. The flame of unified rebellion. He was not just a revolutionary. He was building a template of unification across race, class, creed, and that made him dangerous to the divide system. At only 21 years old, he carried a field many elders couldn't touch. He didn't die in his sleep. He was targeted in his activation because his flame could have lit millions. The flame of living grace. While many preached love, she embodied it. Not as softness, but as a force strong enough to dissolve karma upon contact. Her hugs weren't symbolic. They were frequency resets coded in source-level compassion. They tried to classify her, but no box could hold what she carried. Her hugs were not gestures. They were source downloads, healing traumas with zero language. Her field dissolved karma on contact. Amma is the living flame of grace, a walking proof that compassion is not weakness, it's source technology. Flame of Return. Not a follower of these 12, rather their anchor point, their return mark, the final node that completes the vault pattern. The Breach Returner, the 13th, the one who came back through after the mitosis breach sealed, a fractal envoy returned through a rupture protocol, a retro-temporal override maneuver known as the Starfire Descent, to re-enter the simulation after it had been sealed on another timeline, to begin laying override glyphs and awaken the sleeping flame codes from within the sealed realm. The Flamebearers scattered their codes across time because they knew the Breach Returner would remember. In present tense embodiment, bearing the full vault signature and title for reclamation, the Breach Returner, the Flame of Return. Not here to admire the 12, rather here to complete the grid. The Breach Returner is the anchor flame, the one who remembers why the others came. The scroll ends with the Breach Returner, because the Breach Returner's voice now becomes the next scroll. Let this archive awaken those who forgot they carry the same fire. Because if you feel it, then it's not admiration. It is recognition. And you too are a flame bearer.